What's going on, everybody? This is Larry from the Shizzle Network here, and I am back with yet another Financial Freddy's video, and I'm going to be doing something that you guys might enjoy the most, and that is the top 10 rare events in Five Nights at Freddy's. As the title says, these moments in Five Nights at Freddy's occur very, very rarely in the game, but when they do happen, they will creep you out. This list will only include rare screens from the first and second game. I will be doing a separate video where I cover the 5 rare moments in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but for this video only, it's going to only cover the first and second game, so let's go right to it. So up at number 10, we have the eerie poster of Freddy ripping off his own head in the first game. So this one occurs very, very rarely, and I did encounter it a few times, and many people doesn't know what it signifies. Some people says it's there for added spooks, but however, I agreed that to this theory, which was brought up by a Twitter user according to Spike, and he says that this might actually signify the child who possessed Freddy actually is trying to escape and then move on to the afterlife, and that's very, very likely actually. And yeah, let's just move on. So up at number 9, we have the "It's Me" writings on the walls in the hallway, once again in the first game, and this one occurs once again very, very rarely. I only encountered it only 1% of the time. I did encounter it a few times, but not commonly. So yeah, honestly, I don't know how this happens. It only happens very, very rarely, and it's when you look at the walls, it's the same subliminal message that you see in those random hallucinations you get. Also, on this one actually is completely random. That's why it doesn't occur in the rare screens moment, but it can appear on the sign in Pirate Cove. Once again, this one only occurs on very random points after Foxy leaves. So yeah, this one isn't rare. It just only happens randomly. That's all. So up at number 8 is the missing paper plate in the second game. Okay, so in Party Room 4, there's actually a paper plate right there, and according to Smike, it represents Balloon Boy. But anyway, this paper plate might mysteriously disappear from that party room, and then on very, very rare occasions, it will appear in your office. And it does beg the question of who in the world put it there. And there are 3 main suspects for this, and that is Chica, Toy Chica, and Toy Bonnie. And I'm not going to go more in depth to those theories right now, but Chica, broken down, Chica is actually the very likely suspect though, but I'm not going to go more in depth to that theory. I'm only focused on the rare events. So up at number 7, we have Balloon Girl. Okay, so you guys might not be aware of this, but on very rare occasions, you might see what appears to be an alternate version of Balloon Boy that occurs under your desk, and it's very easy to miss because it only happens very rarely, and you might actually notice that this one is a different version of Balloon Boy, and many people call it Balloon Girl due to more rosy cheeks, as well as pink eyes, you know, and the color patterns of his hat is blue and purple rather than blue and red as well. So, like, yeah. Nobody knows what this Balloon Girl thing is, but if you do ever happen to see it under your desk, do not freak out because it's not aggressive, but it is creepy to just look at it under your table just staring at you. So up at number 6, we're going to go back to the first game, and this is the crying children poster on the walls, and this one is actually even more rare than the "It's Me" writers on the walls. I only encountered this like a few times, and on my Instagram page, the Reptile124, I did actually screenshot the mobile version where I encountered it on Custom Night, and I saw it, and like I screenshot it and posted it on there, and a lot of people theorize that this crying child that appears on the posters actually represents the marionette. And actually, this is one of the biggest pieces of evidence to support that the marionette is present in the first game. But anyways, let's just move on. So up at number 5, we have the screen where all of the animatronics look at the camera, once again in the first game. So this one is possibly the rarest screen in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, and the window of opportunity to actually see the screen is extremely low, and it's when you look at the stage, and it's when all of the animatronics look at the stage, and this one is very, very freaking creepy because it only takes you by surprise because, once again, it happens very rarely, and I do really love that Scott put a lot of hidden things in the game that only happen 1% of the time and just take you by surprise, and no matter how many times you play the game, it's still scary. So up at number 4 is actually 3 rare screens, in fact, and that is that in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, there is a very, very slight chance that you might see an animatronic without any eye sockets. It could be either Toy Bonnie, Freddy, or Foxy. Foxy has a very slight chance of appearing when you start up a night, Toy Bonnie has a very slight chance of appearing when you die, and Freddy has a very slight chance of appearing when you boot up your game. Hey, yeah, these are very creepy, and oh yeah, chances of you actually seeing these screens is extremely low, like I just said. However, imagine having these screens pop up in your face when you expect to just be taken to the game. It's freaking terrifying. So up at number 3 is possibly is actually my personal favorite hallucination. In fact, and that is that very rarely in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 you might see what appears to be a dark shadow appear in your office and then fade away before crashing your game if you don't put the Freddy Fazbear head on in time when you spot it. And this might actually take you by surprise because it only happens very rarely. And a lot of people call it Shadow Bonnie. However, if you look at the row of teeth on them, they're actually quite different from each other. And also, a lot of people theorize that maybe Toy Bonnie is actually represents Springtrap. However, the one problem with this is that, well, let's just not go more in depth to that. Let's just move on. That took me by surprise. Anyway, up at number 2, we have Golden Freddy from the first game. Okay, so Golden Freddy is possibly also the rarest Easter egg in Five Nights at Freddy's. And the only way for this to happen is that when you look at the poster on Cam 2B, on very rare occasions, you might see what appears to be a close-up image of Golden Freddy. And what happens is that Golden Freddy will appear in your office as a hallucination, and if you look at him for too long, he will crash your game instead of taking you to the game over screen after he jump scares you. He can also be triggered when you enter in 1987 on the custom night challenge once again. And yeah, you can see that he's very creepy, and yeah. So up at number 1, this one might not be so surprising for you, and that is the Eyeless Body screen from the first game. And this one I already mentioned in previous videos, where on very rare occasions it might appear when you boot up your game or when you die, and what will happen is that you will see Bonnie's face with endoskeleton eyes or without his eye sockets. And some people did report that it lasted for up to 10 minutes and even crashed their game when they saw it. And the way it appears is actually different for everybody, and also the sound played in the background is very creepy. And a lot of people actually theorize that the main reason why this Easter egg exists is possibly because it came from Scott Cawthon's nightmares at what he had about Bonnie, and I wouldn't even be surprised if it did, in fact. Well, that was actually pretty good there. Pretty good, decent try for a rare event, right? Anyways, guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did, be sure to subscribe for more videos from the Shizzle Network. And stay tuned for the next video, as I will be doing the top 5 rare events in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So until then, peace out and deuces. Beyond the infinite.